Om Vang me manasi pratishthitam mano me vachi pratishthitam Aviravirma edhi Vedasyama anistha Shrutam me ma prahasihi Anena dhitena Horatran samdadhami Ritam vadishyami Satyam vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu mam Avatu Vaktaram Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. By the way, even in this mantra, there are two poles, yes, the speech and the word, the speech and the mind, the thought and the word, the father and the mother. Mother is the word, the father is the speech, the mind. What is that with my tongue? My tongue is not listening to me. And they are both the foundations of the Veda, of the knowledge. So
And day and night, Vladimir.
And day and night they are, yes. We collect all that wisdom, all their manifestation day and night. That means again do it in this constantly changing reality, bringing light into the darkness. So these two foundations, we are looking at them in this hymn. Here, this verse which we read and discussed the last time, and then the next is number 3. It's a short hymn, but it is a very important for us. Panchapadani rupo anvaroham chatushpadim anu emi vratena aksharena pratimima etam ritasya nabhav adhisam punami. I will read my interpretation. You can always compare it to Griffith. Following the 5 principles, Panchapadani, 5 steps or 5 levels, I grew out of earth. It's a rare word, rup, which means earth by some, grammarians. Nobody knows what it is. Earth by Sayana. We do not know what it is. So let us say from the earth, I grew up 5 steps. I follow her, Anu Emi, who has 4 principles. Chatushpadim, by the law, Vratena. It is by the indestructible, or by the syllable of the word, Aksharena, that I measure her out, pratimima etam. I am purifying her totally, sampunami, in the navel of the truth, ritasya nabhav. So Vivasvan Aditya, the rishi of this hymn, who is also the supramental sun, speaks about himself as the one who has arisen out of earth, following 5-fold principles of material manifestation, Pancha Mahabhutani most probably, and the 4 levels of the nature, physical, vital, mental, and supramental. He follows that evolutionary scheme. He has measured out the whole nature by the word. And in the navel, in the center of the dynamic truth, he thus totally purifies her. So from that center of the dynamic becoming of the truth, of the supermind, he purifies all the levels of her manifestation, making her divine. So this is the involved Godhead. Yeah? Vivasvan himself is an involved Aditya. It is the eighth son who was stolen or hidden by the Asuras in the darkest. There is somebody else asking also for entry. Did I send the invite? No, I didn't today. I forgot. Let me do it. Usually people, once they have this link, they come. But sometimes they don't have Google Calendar or something, so they need every time invitation.
Vladimir, is it possible for you to send this text? I don't think we have it.
Oh, yes, sure, absolutely. It's a separately, yes. It's in a separate, for sure.
Thank you.
Because I didn't include this into Surya Savitri hymns. It's something we decided to do because of Yama and Yami. There are many related to the sun godheads, like Mitra and Varuna we will look into in the future. Also Pushan, also Yama and Yami, this is what we are doing. Rishi himself is the Lord of the Sun, so to say more. He speaks on behalf of himself. So he is measuring totally from the navel of immortality her, yes, by the indestructible, what is aksharena, with something which cannot be exhausted, or by some word, because akshara is also that word. Word is also indestructible, interestingly, yes. Those are aksharamala, those alphabet, or varnamala or aksharamala. And the alphabet is also consisting of aksharas, of indestructibles. These are indestructible formations of consciousness from which everything, the manifestation is being built. Yeah, fun, so to say, bricks from which you build this home, mansion, I wanted to say. So the idea is of him, he himself says, Aditya, Vivasvan, who is involved in the darkness, that he builds up, he rises up 5 steps from the earth. Anu Aroham, you see, Anu Aroham. Panchapadani, in accordance with 5 padas, and most probably Pancha Mahabhutani. This is only a guess. Could be, truly speaking, the whole 5 levels as they are proclaimed in Taittiriya. But since he mentions Chatushpadim afterwards, that he follows Chatushpadi, then I think these are not those 5 padas. These are most probably, since they are coming from earth, are the 5 elements of earth. And 5 elements is earth itself, water, fire, air, and ether. All the materials needed to build up manifestation. So he follows that law, Vratena, and follows her Chatushpadim, who is growing from the physical to vital to mental and to beyond supramental. From within he purifies her from the navel of immortality. from the navel, of the truth. Sometimes it is navel of immortality or navel of the truth. From the navel, from the center of the supermind. And it's quite interesting because we discussed this before, that these Satyam Ritam Brihut, yes? And Ritam is the central part of the supermind. It is that one in many, in many in one, where the dynamism is being worked out. It is the center of the supermind. And from that center, dynamic center of becoming, of the truth, he purifies her and measures her, creates her. Measuring is literally creating her with his indestructible power, or his word, his intention. I just gave you all the options. You can choose what suits you better for your thinking. It's all needed only for one thing. It's not description of reality. It is triggering in us the recognition of the truth, which is far beyond the immediate perception of our mind. This knowledge we cannot have. It has to be given to us by the Rishi, or better by the supermind Rishi.
Vladimir, who is her being referred to here?
Earth.
Okay. Okay.
Rishi, Chatushpadi, feminine gender.
Okay.
And okay, let me do one more thing before I continue with the next, because somebody is asking me, send me the link still. God. So it doesn't work that way. All right, I did send the link. Devebhyah kam avrenitam rityum, prajayai kam amritam navrenita, brahaspatim yajnam akrenvata rishim. Yeah? Brahaspatim yajnam akrenvata rishim priyam yamach tanuam prarirechit. Yes, for the sake of the gods he chose death. Yes, for the sake of the creatures born in the body, he chose not immortality. Brihaspati, the Rishi, they made their sacrifice here. And Yama left his beloved body empty. Now there is much to think of. I will read also Griffith, which will be useful to us. He, for God's sake, chose death to be his portion. There is no portion here, just English. He chose not for man's good a life eternal. They sacrificed Brihaspati, the Rishi. Yama delivered up his own dear body. I liked his choice of delivered up his own dear body. So to say, Yama left his body. Literally, he emptied, vacated his body. But he delivered up his body, means he left his body going up. Left it on earth. Yama is the first man who died, as you know, by the mythology. The first man, the original one, let us say, made of the sun, the child of the sun. The first soul, he most probably represents the group soul of humanity, who came here on earth into the physical formation and had to leave it. So there can be also another reading, whom questioning, come as a questioning word. Come did he choose, whom did he choose as death for the sake of the gods? And who is the immortal that he chose not for the sake of the creatures? Prajaya, for the prajas. Brihaspati they made their sacrifice. The rishi Yama has left his dear body empty, vacant. The vacating of the beloved body by Yama, the first man who died and found his way back to the origin. Yama actually built that psychic world where we all go after death and where we all kind of rest before we engage again in manifestation. It is his path, Yama's path. He found that way back to the origin. And on that path we all travel. And he helps us to find the way to the origin every time we leave the body. He is indicative of the beginning of long and tardy process of evolution and transformation of the fallen self by the spirit descending from above. You remember these four emanations fell, and it's for their sake that there was the descent of this Yama and Yami, the children of the sun, or let us say ascent from the Vivasvan. Vivasvan was the major descent from which all the beings came. We are arising. I don't understand. Anyhow, cannot manage this. He has to manage himself. So there is more here, of course. So it's very simple language, by the way. Come, Avrenita, whom did he choose? Mrityum, death, for the gods. Whom did he not choose? Na Avrenita, come, Amritam. What immortality did he not choose for the creatures? It can be like a koan, you know. Because if you ask like this, what death did he choose for the gods and what immortality didn't he choose for the creatures? It points to the same being from two different positions. No, you don't feel it. It's less logical, it's more feeling. Logic here is broken, actually. It's a paradoxical logic. That's why I say it's like a koan. It's very beautiful. Don't try to think it over. Try to get the meaning, because this is a broken logic. Whom did he choose? What death, let us rephrase, what death did he choose for the gods? And what immortality he didn't choose for the creatures? My God, passcode. There is passcode. I leave you to think for a second until I send him passcode. Actually, there is something interesting following. Brahaspatim yajñam akrenvata rishim. They made akrenvata. They made him, Brahaspati, the Rishi, the sacrifice. They made out of Brahaspati, the divine which is rising from within, the sacrifice here. And Yama left his body, dear body, empty, priyam tanvam. He prarirechit, vacated forward, literally. All right, I will read my... So, whom did he choose? Yes, for death, as death, for the sake of the gods, and who is the immortal that he chose not for the sake of creatures? Brahaspati, they made their sacrifice. The Rishi Yama has left his dear body empty. The vacating of the beloved body by Yama, I read already this, yeah? No, not till the end. This is important. The first man who died and found his way back to the origin is indicative of the beginning of long and tardy process of evolution and transformation of the fallen self by the spirit descending from above. This is first creation, had to be redeemed by the second descent, second involution. It can also be indicative of the beginning of creation, where the spirit creates a gap within his own being, which is to be constantly filled by the sacrifice from below and from above. Avirdhane, these are the hymn dedicated to them, to the two suns, from above and from below. And sun within, Brahaspati, was the sacrifice. It is within the sun that there was a gap created, that Yama left his dear body empty for the sake of manifesting the divine here. And so this empty space within the sun, supramental sun, is our universe, basically, in which everything is taking place in time and space. So this is also very possible reading, even more mysteriously true.
Vladimir, I got a sense that the first two questions are answered as Brihaspati. That means Brihaspati was chosen for death for the sake of the gods, and Brihaspati was the immortal
Who was not chosen for the
for
creature.
the sake of the creatures.
Right. Yeah, that's why immortality is not easily attainable here. It has to be built through the sacrifice. And also
For the sake of the multiplicity, Brihaspati was sacrificed. Something like that is the sense I'm getting.
most probably you are right, yes. So both of these two koans pointing to Brihaspati, to the central being, central divine, so to say, who was sacrificed here, and the gap was created for that in that very manner, yes, in which the immortality was not chosen for the creatures, and the death was chosen for the gods.
Yes, that is the sense that I'm getting.
I get a different sense of it that the answer to both those questions is none. That the gods were who of the gods were chosen for death? None. Who of the men of the creatures were not chosen for immortality? Again, none, because he's then going to show how immortality in creatures exists.
Very
I
nice.
guess I'm saying the same thing, but
Yes, very lovely that you also see that you're saying the same thing, but from the total negation and from total, yes, positive and from total negative, it is both the same, pointing to the same Brihaspati, yes, the divine. Very nice. Very good interpretation. I like it, Selby. Right. Come, interesting word. He chooses. He speaks about this as his portion. If you look at come, it is something indeclinable, like well, yeah, which is opposite to akam, ill. And there are many ways of using. Yes, I used it well. Yes, as yes, like starting the sentence, but it is used also as enclitic and so many things. It's such a particle, interesting. And also come is the question, whom? Yes, literally. Whom did he choose as death for the gods? And that is Brihaspati. Whom did he choose as immortal? Who didn't he choose as immortal for the creatures? And it is again Brihaspati. Right? Or not. We should know that it is just to tune us to the truth and not to have exactly the definitive answer. There's nobody here can really comment on it. Yeah. But you can have your own way of looking at it. I'm stuck with the grammar. I'm following only the language. Yeah? And whatever rises from the language, whatever language may tell me, I'm sharing with you. Yeah? But otherwise, and of course, Sri Aurobindo's background, Sri Aurobindo's vision of evolution of consciousness, of manifestation, of stages of manifestation, everything is coming from him. If he would not give those keys, this kind of interpretation or thinking would not be possible altogether. There is not much to do without Sri Aurobindo here, or anywhere in the Rigveda for that matter. But I like the translation of Griffith of these 10th mandala is the best of his kind, because it's closer to our thinking, closer to philosophical language. The small, ready philosophizing. Yeah? This language, this way of thinking, you will not find in the older mandalas. Yeah? They do not speak this way. Whom he chose as death, and whom did he choose as immortality for the creatures, and this is already closer to our time. Yeah? You remember those are the hymns. They are very different. Yeah? So, great. So we have creatures and gods on both sides. Gods are representing heaven, creatures represent earth, and in between them there is this ongoing sacrifice, and Brihaspati is rising from the heart, so to say, the divine from within. He is the Rishi, important. Rishi is the word, the carrier of the word. Brihaspati is the Lord of the divine word. This is the place where these two, the gods and creatures, are connected. They are connected in this dear body of Yama, what he vacated for this particular purpose of the sacrifice. Yama is actually in the Veda and in even all the Upanishads, like Isha Upanishad. Yama, Surya, Prajapatya, Vyuha, Rashmin. Yes, he is the Lord of the Sun. We should not forget. Later, of course, he is the child of the Sun, sent here for the work, but that is already a development of thinking. Yeah? He was sent here for the work of manifestation, as the first man, as the group soul, with Yama and Yami. We are preparing ourselves for Yama and Yami hymn because that one is very difficult to understand without these hymns before. And the last verse, let us take the last one. Saptaksharanti shishave marutvate pitre putrasach api avivatan nritam apyavivatan nritam ubhe id asya ubhayasya rajata ubheyatete ubhayasya pushyatach. Always ubhe, 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 4 times. 4 times in one line. Ubhe and ubhaya. 7 are they who flow towards a child, who is the Lord of Maruts, Saptaksharanti Shishave Marutvate, to the baby, actually, child, as the sons who make the truth dynamic known to their father. This is a very important meaning. Pitre putrasa hapi avivatan nritam. Very rare root, only here used to inform. It is from causative aorist. They both are his, the lords of these both worlds. Ubhe id asya, ubhayasya rajata. Or they shine in both, from both sides. Yeah? They shine in their duality, and both of them belong to him alone, who he alone is. Both they aspire, labor, ubhe yatate, yatete. And of both they grow together. Ubhayasya pushyatach. Or we can say, of them, of these two, they both grow. So they grow of one another. They support each other's growth. They are both the lords of these two worlds, the transcendental and this world, 2 hemispheres, para and apara prakriti. They both belong to his being. The Father is the Lord of the transcendental world, Satchitananda, and the Antaryamin, or Antaratma, his Son, is the Lord of this world. The child on whom the Maruts wait. It's from another hymn. They both labor and both grow through his labor, through this labor, because they belong to separate worlds, even though they are of one being. It reminds me again the same about night and dawn, where it is said that they are different in form but with the same mind. They work for the same purpose, or for the same being, for the same outcome. Here the same story. They have 2 different separate worlds, but they belong to one being. We can also interpret it in this way, where the 2 lords are seen as the 2 sons. One is transcendental Surya, Aditya, Savitar, and the other is involved, Vivasvan, Martanda, hidden by the Titans in the darkness of inconscient, from whom Agni is rising as his son, the sparks of which are the souls of man, growing psychic being, Antaryamin, Antaratma Chaitya Purusha. We are the sparks of this flame rising from the involved divinity. It is with the help of psychic beings, children, putrasach, and their growth here in manifestation that the two suns can enlarge their presence and transform the whole nature. Two suns has to be put in, it's a way of talking. It's one sun viewed from two different positions, involved and uninvolved. It's interesting, if you look physically at this world, you will see the same thing. We have the sun, burning sun, burning sphere, and we have earth, but within the earth there is a burning sphere involved. So you have two suns, one is above, uninvolved, another is below, involved, hidden. And these two interacting, creating all, transforming the whole nature and making it divine. Even physical replica is there for this spiritual truth. And it can't be otherwise, because physicality cannot do anything else but that which is there in the spiritual truth. All right, this is the end of the hymn. If you have some thoughts on this dual nature, this is the secret of the Veda, the real one. It's nice to have a mind being a little bit diluted from all that clarity of logical chain of thinking or something, black and white and gray in between. This mind is such a curse. There's suddenly no mind. Oh, you can rest a bit for a second. We try to switch on mind and it is not switching on. Let me think. Nothing comes.
I'm just trying to think, does involved mean shining upon us and uninvolved means shining within but hidden? Or is it the other way around?
Other way around. Involved is in the darkness. Uninvolved is that which is free and original, stays in itself, not really bothering about us. We have to involve the uninvolved. So we have to connect with uninvolved. And we all aspire for that uninvolved to really answer. That is the grace from above that answers. It is uninvolved. To the involved one, yes? We are calling, the flame is calling from within, and the grace from above, uninvolved, reaches out.
But do we feel more involved with the involved one?
Say it again. Do we feel involved?
Do we feel closer to the involved one? Because the uninvolved one seems very remote.
It's an interesting question, because truly speaking, the more we feel the involved one, the more the uninvolved appears to us closer. comes closer. They are both at the same time, so to say, or you feel the uninvolved answers to you didn't even call for anything. And then you suddenly feel that you called, actually. There is a call within you, that flame within you. So they are, strangely enough, doesn't matter from where you start, from your aspiration from within, or you got the grace from above without feeling aspiration from within, then you will feel it. When it comes, you will recognize it. So the psychic can be awakened by the descent from above. I'm speaking now the integral yoga language. There is a descent from above, which is very tangible. It's physically tangible. It presses on the head, embraces you. You feel it physically present, like bliss, peace, knowledge, light. Difficult to describe. All these words are wrong words. Something real, and then you feel that the heart within starts kind of becomes alive, when this happens. Or you feel within the heart some movement, flame, cold, prayer, and then you feel the answer from above.
I'm trying to think, why would Yama think of his body as Priya?
Because it was his son, literally his very body of the supermind, which had to vacate to find a space for multitude relations. Time and space was created between many and one and many started to have relations, and it needed to be vacated, so to say. It was dense, and it had to be, the space had to be created for that purpose. The delay had to be made in order to manifest everything in all the varieties, to spell them out in time and space, to see all the details of the infinite. Well, it's one of the interpretation which is okay, to think in that way about Yama, that he vacated his body. It's like we are within the sun, yes, the whole manifestation. There is a supermind here, and we are here. We are not there. A supermind is there. No, it is there, but it is also below, because we are within it. Yeah? But that secret we didn't have. We didn't think of it. We thought that we are here below, everything is dense and darker, darker, darker below, and a lighter, lighter, lighter above. And it is not like that at all. Yeah? There is light above and below and within, and we are within the light. And that was the vacated space for the manifestation. His beloved body, which was one, became vacated for Brihaspati to be sacrificed. He is also within, being sacrificed. It's a very rare hymn, because you will never find Brihaspati as a sacrifice nowhere else. It's only in this hymn. Otherwise, later it is Vayupavamana, it is pranic world, but not Brihaspati.
It also for me that when Yama vacating his body, and that's so powerful because it's creating the space. It's also showing creation in a way. Like in Savitri, the first page itself, something stirred, some movement happening, and something has to create a space for something else to come in. And he does it so beautifully. And then that's how something has to die, something has to be born. Uh, I don't know how to put it, but
Yeah. And that's why that question is, what death he chose for the gods, what immortality he didn't choose for the creatures. This is kind of has to point to that space being created where sacrifice will be made with the divine. There is another beautiful passage where it is said that you remember in the hymn to the sun by Kutsan Girasa, that where he says that you remember this following the, let me find to be totally correct. I will open it. It's 115 hymn. It starts with Suryo devimushasam rochamanam Mario Nayosham abhyeti paschat. So the Surya follows the dawn into dawn is actually reaching out to this manifestation in time and space. Yatra naro, where the heroic souls of man, we, the sparks of that flame involved, devayantah, seeking the divine manifestation, yugani vitanvate, spread the yugas, the portions of time and space. Yeah, pratibhadraya bhadram, seeking the blissful for the blissful, or doing that spreading of yugas as the blissful for the blissful. And this is something interesting. Spreading the blissful for the blissful in time and space. It is that Brahaspati being sacrificed. There is nobody else here but the blissful, which is to be spread by the blissful for the sake of the blissful.
Even
This
when
is
we
also Adam getting the knowledge of life and death,
Right,
so that creatures could be multiplied.
right. That the development can take place in the body which is not totally conscious of the divine. This is the most difficult task, yes, how to make it so the time is needed, reincarnation is needed, restarting, rebooting the system constantly is needed, because otherwise how would you proceed? How else would you make from inconscient conscious? Yeah? It's just not possible to do otherwise. It's not a miracle act. Because you want to maintain multiplicity. And to maintain separate multiplicity, separateness through the gap in time and space, you will have to undergo that tardy, long process of evolution. Slowly, drop by drop, evolving, building up the bodies. If we think in this way, we will see that our bodies are actually the purpose of this manifestation. The aim of all the creation is this luminous divine body. We have to work for the body to make body more and more conscious, more and more receptive of the spirit, make it more efficient, more luminous, and so on. More spiritual body, spiritual body. Even our souls are growing for that sake. Otherwise, why should soul grow if there is no work in the body? This is what Mother discovered. It's a knowledge which is not available in any spiritual tradition. You will not find it. Separation on spirit and matter is so fundamental that everybody tries to go somewhere to the paradise and disappear there forever in the blissful, state of consciousness. But this is not at all the point of this manifestation. It's a partial truth. It's the way how it proceeds. We need to have that place where we rest and from where we come back to do again the body and continue to do it until it is done. But in itself, to try to drop it off and disappear, to dissolve oneself in the spirit, it's like to deny the whole need of manifestation, to come back to the origin and to say, no, I don't want to do this. Sorry. Sorry, God. Send somebody else. We have many of us. Let them do it. And I will be here with you, always with you. I will not go anywhere. You remember how Hanuman answered to Rama? He didn't want to go with him to heaven. He told him, I will wait for you here on earth. Interesting answer, yeah? The Lord wanted to take him with him, forever, to be near to him in heaven. The same Savitri, same answer. Amazing discovery. Yeah?
Vladimir, I'm also thinking that if death is just a forgetfulness of life for a temporary period, then the more and more we remember the life or we know the life, the closer and closer we get to immortality. That means when life becomes a continuous remembrance, then there is no death.
Yeah, you charge it with consciousness constantly. You have to be conscious, aware in the time and space, in this gap, in this separateness. Awareness in the separateness is caused by death. Very true. That's why they say, think of death. Yeah, when you think of death, the whole set of priorities change.
Death of ego also. Death of ego as we know it in a practical way.
Ego, you mean?
The death of ego.
Mm-hmm.
When we are being in the moment every time.
Yeah, well, something is done to us with these verses and our thinking. You see that the ego becomes less important. There's some kind of bigger scheme of things which we are part of. This is what we have to bring, the spiritual thinking into the system. It has to be kind of framed by this new consciousness. Oh, there are other ways of killing ego, together with nature and disappear in the spirit, dissolve in the Brahman, and that's it. Bye-bye ego, bye-bye nature, and everything else. But that is tapasya, or torturing oneself until you're not interested. Vairagya, making life discolorful and uninteresting.
Mukti.
Mukti, yes, mukti, pop, and you are gone. But if you think of vairagya, for example, as the means to get rid of ego, it is very interesting. The life becomes uninteresting. Yeah? You kill the very juice of life. Colors, you discolor it. Literally, vairagya is discoloring. And make it gray and light, gray and dark. And then, of course, it's not attracting. Nothing is attracting. Neither food, nor fun, nor laughter, no vital energy is totally abandoned. So what will you have? You will have only one way out, mukti. But and this is how mukti is achieved. But there's something wrong about this way. Something is not totally true. It's partially true. And it is effective, yes. Difficult to do, yes. But you can make it. Few people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people in the whole period of history could make it. But then, so somehow it's not available to all for some reason. Why? Why it's so difficult to go that way? Because there's something wrong about it. Life has to be asserted with the divine presence and not neglected for the sake of the divine. It's like that koan, what we read.
Vladimir, I have two thoughts that keep whirling around inside me today. One is that how remarkable Sri Aurobindo's assertion is that spiritual truth is the reality and that the physical world is the replica of that spiritual reality and not vice versa as we usually see it. And I'm thinking about people who can look at a leaf or a tree and say they somehow see the footprint, the handprint, the fingerprint of God in it, and that we can study the world and ourselves and find the spiritual truth, but we somehow think in that linear way toward this is the truth, and then spirit is somehow an allegory of that or something. And it's really profound for me that the spiritual truth is what is, and everything else is a manifestation of that. So that was one thought that's just like whirling around inside me. And the second one is I'm stuck with, every time I read either the Bible or the Veda, I'm stuck with this sun, S-O-N, sun, S-U-N connection that it seems to like have a very thin veil between the two meanings, even though I don't know if those words are related.
Oh, they are related, absolutely. They are from the same root, su, Surya, and also Sunu. There is another word, Sunu is son. Son as the son of the father. Yeah? From root Su, the same as Surya is. And they are of the same root. Absolutely.
And so that involution, that bringing of the sun, that incarnation, it all seems like something I really need to contemplate. But that connection strikes me every single time, because Jesus is not only the incarnation, but he's referred to in one of the prophets as the S-U-N of righteousness. And so it's like, even in the Christian tradition, besides the Vedic, those two things are connected. So that's just something else I need to mull on.
Yeah, Jesus says, as he said, that he is in the heart of every man. It is the psychic presence, yeah, in the humanity. It is the son of the Father. Only through me you can come to my Father. So through me, through the psychic, through the involved son, you can come to the uninvolved son. Yeah? So to say, Father is there, uninvolved as it were, and Son is involved Father. That's why he is the Son. Yeah? When Father becomes involved, he is involved as the Son. And we will see it very often in the Rigveda, that Son is to liberate his father here. He also, the sons, the psychic beings, are to inform the father, to make him aware. It's very interesting, to make him aware. Let me see. Of the dynamic truth. They are here to make him aware of that supramental manifestation here on earth. Yes? And if he is aware, if he is totally in charge, that means supramental manifestation is taking place. Yes? That means it's totally supported. The soul is supported by the unborn self beyond, and manifested here. That's the whole purpose, the esoteric meaning of it, at least.
And also, when you talked about the sparks that came from the sun, that related it to Agni as well.
Yeah, Agni is that manifestation from the hidden sun. These sparks are our souls. And that is, in my view, it is Jesus, these sparks, the flame within the heart. It is the Son of the Father.
Which makes that Agni on you stay connection for me.
Yes, Dipti is saying something from Latin.
I read this yesterday. Persona, per meaning through, and sonas, something to do with sound. So it just struck me what you're just saying.
Right.
So we are all sound flowing through.
Right. Also, we have Soma. Yes, Soma is also from the same root. Sun, Soma. Soma is actually that essence which will be traveling. Why it was seen as the seed also, yes, which is conceiving the manifestation, brings the being. It is the essential, quintessential substance which is put into the flame, yes, and flame grows stronger, but the substance travels. Substance travels like the seed to the mother, the child to the again flame, and the soul travels. So this is the traveling of the substance of the delight of the Ananda from which we all came. Well, we are using mental language and even English. God, not Sanskrit. It is so misleading. But nevertheless, here and there are some small touches of the truth.
From childhood, that poetic line, "Son is the father of the man," has always bothered me. Like, there is something there. The son is the father of the man. If we think of it very literally, we are giving birth to our father, sort of.
Right. Yes.
Can I ask,
To all mother
can I
earth.
ask a question?
Yes, please, Jane.
Yes. I think it was the second to last passage you were reading, it talked about the fallen self. What does that refer to? I mean, we're not talking about Adam and Eve, are we? Or what is that about?
It was mentioned. I was referring to the first creation, first emanations which fell into opposite and created the foundation for the second descent. Yes, and the second
Okay.
descent is this: why it was divided Surya into two, because or three even, because from above, below, and within, because that fallen emanations were already there to be conceived or to be dealt with, to be
Okay.
brought back to their self-awareness. I always refer to these stages of creation because they're seen here and there, always implied. This knowledge is implied, it's not spoken of, but it is the background of all thinking. And if we have that at the background, it helps to figure out where it belongs, what it is about.
Thank you. That makes more sense.
To orient our mind better. Great. Okay. Thank you all. That was the hymn. Now, next time we will take another hymn from Yama now. It was from Vivasvan himself. Now Yama will speak. And then Yama and Yami. 3 hymns. I will close with mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santo Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shri Guru Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.